20 years of mini clip, guys. 20 years.
Today, we're
Let's check it out. The continual rise of a gaming giant.
winding back the clock to the age of the dot-com boom, a time when optimism for the future of technology was reaching cataclysmic heights. And I mean that quite literally.
Guys, do they even sell Windows on the store shelves? Like in this day of age? I don't think they do. I've never seen Windows on the shelf ever, bro. This is way back then.
Considering the event.
At least I don't remember seeing it on the shelf. How much would a PSA 10 sealed copy of Windows 98 go for?
Events that would unfold soon after. Around the year 2000, the boom would turn out to be a bubble, and that bubble would pop. But that was far from the
Wow, man. We actually lived to see the year 2000, man. I was like 7 years old.
end for innovation in the web space. The following year would go on to define the new millennia with the release of Wikipedia, Google Image Search, and iTunes. Applications that redefined the way we consume media. For the average person, information was no longer finite and hard to reach. It was endless, wildly accessible, and quite overwhelming.
Yay.
The internet was giving us on-demand access.
Egghead.com. Out of all these websites, I think E-Trade and eBay survived the most. I don't know what Excite is, and I don't know what Egghead.com is.
Access to what we wanted to read, hear, or watch.
But Excite seems like a rare URL to have as a website.
The power was in our hands to choose, and that capability brought with it a wealth of opportunity to the realm of commerce, communications, and of course, entertainment. Enter Miniclip, an online
Guys, this is the website I actually discovered RuneScape on.
gaming website formed by two business partners in the UK. Now, neither of them hailed from a programming background, but it was their philosophy and forward-thinking attitude toward the industry that would give them the success they ultimately deserved.
So you're a pioneer in what's called casual gaming.
We saw that there was a huge opportunity
Dang, I didn't know they had like a actual office and stuff, guys. What do they do in this office? Just like find games and...
online to create custom-made content. Tion came up with the suggestion of creating a small...
If you guys don't know what Miniclip is, it's just like a website that has like Flash games and stuff. I don't know what it is now. I haven't been there so long. I'll go right now.
animation that featured George Bush. So Tion danced in the kitchen of the flat that we set the business up in. I filmed it, animated into a short animation, and we just...
But yeah, growing up during my time, we didn't have the game selection we used to have on the computer, guys. Our computers couldn't run these modern games. Not even the consoles could, so we just had like these browser games. I'm on Miniclip right now. We just had browser games, guys, to play. Let's see if they got RuneScape on here. They don't. Well, they got agar.io, so it's completely different than what it used to be, man. Wow.
distributed it to a handful of users that we had back at that point. Within 2 months, we had 2 million users coming to the website.
Only in 2001
I bet their stock value went down a decent amount, man.
would you ever hear a success story like this. At the time, the attraction to user-generated content was so novel and exciting, and now...
Guys, they don't even have the games they used to have. Why'd they remove they only have like 3 pages? They have like 30 games now. I totally wanted to see like the games they used to have on there, man. Oh man, can't even go back there for like nostalgia.
Now, with the advent of browser gaming, the endless fountain of internet content had found its new medium. Titles were being geared to all demographics and age groups, and suddenly, 7-year-old me was hopping on Internet Explorer to play political satire games with no real understanding of the themes or context. This was also around the time when enabling Adobe Flash Player felt like hitting the nitrous boost on your browser.
Yeah, they'd always prompt us if we wanted to run Flash. And I'd always contemplate if I was getting hacked before running it.
But kids weren't the only ones having the fun. It was apparent that audiences were becoming more diverse and the themes of these games were changing to fit them. But this is still almost 2 decades before everyone's aunt developed a crippling addiction to Diner Dash. We weren't quite there yet in 2001. So what made Miniclip so special? In the beginning, Miniclip was solely a publishing
Guys, I really hope he just talks about RuneScape being on the website, guys. Just one little mention of it would make my day.
company. So traditionally, developers would approach them with a game, and if Miniclip liked what they saw, they'd order more games. Suddenly, Miniclip was weaving a web of developers from all over the world that were creating new titles for the company and helping to grow their library of hand-picked games. Miniclip was also focused on titles of a specific variety. You see, the majority of browser games at the time were built with Adobe Flash, and this platform came with its fair share of limitations. The software wasn't built for developing full-scale AAA shooters or the next block.
That's why Flash was discontinued, basically. I think it's kind of discontinued. I don't know. They switched like HTML5 or something.
Blockbuster gaming title. But what it did exceptionally well
Whoa!
were simple, addictive games that focused on 1 or 2 key mechanics. This concept was at the core of the Flash.
The only kind of games that I liked that were like that are the castle builder. But yeah, guys, they don't got any of these games on there, man. Kind of depressing.
Game movement and fueled the fun and simplicity that the general public would come to find so attractive about these games. The movement also brought an entirely new generation of creators to the forefront, with scripting languages like ActionScript allowing young creatives to surpass the tall technical hurdles of traditional game development and just create. Thus ensued an outpouring of user-generated content, some good.
The only time I learned about how to make a game was like level builders and like private servers and stuff.
Most bad, that flooded every corner of the internet. In the early 2000s, you couldn't escape it. Flash games found themselves embedded on thousands of websites across the internet.
I'm so glad this era is over with.
Many of which weren't even gaming sites. You see, one
So glad, bro. All these games sucked.
of Miniclip's greatest strategies
Except a few like the castle builder ones.
was providing a simple method to embed their games on any website. Simply visit miniclip.com, find a game you want to feature, and embed a small chunk of code onto your site. Suddenly, Miniclip's reach was boundless, and it was a strategy that many browser gaming sites would come to adopt. There was even a point where users could play RuneScape and Club Penguin right on Miniclip. Both of these games received a
I'm so glad he did that.
massive outpouring of new players through the site.
But yeah, this is where it started, guys. I actually started with Club Penguin before RuneScape, but that's how I discovered it.
And were featured as the 2 most played games on Miniclip for a very
Club Penguin over RuneScape? What? The top 2 games are both MMOs, though.
long time. I spoke briefly on Twitter with one of the lead developers for RuneScape about Miniclip's impact on the
Oh, no way you asked him on Ash, guys.
game at the time. It appears as though the number of players increased substantially, with an outpouring of presumably younger players joining the game. Regardless of their age, the increased player base was a win for Jagex and a direct result of their heightened exposure from Miniclip. With all this content spreading around the web, Miniclip had become a household name. Yet how exactly did they leverage this user base to generate revenue? The answer was pretty predictable. Advertisements, microtransactions, and hosting contracts like the ones with RuneScape and Club Penguin. This was
Sheesh.
the backbone of Miniclip's income and why the company became profitable by year 1.
They probably don't have the same office they did.
Fast forward
If they do, that's pretty cool.
a few years later, and Miniclip was entering business talks with a small up-and-coming platform looking to expand their reach into browser gaming. That's right. At the time, Facebook was looking to power their gaming service with Miniclip, an offer that was actually turned down on the basis that Miniclip would lose their direct relationship
Guys, Facebook of all things, well.
with their audience. Whether or not this ended up being the right decision was irrelevant. Miniclip went on to feature many of their titles on Facebook Gaming, and as a result, avoided the ambiguity of becoming a side feature to a multi-billion-dollar megacorporation. Besides, Miniclip now had their sights set on a fairly different prize that would
Maybe they should have took that deal, though.
change the way the world gamed forever.
Nah, Miniclip can't compete with Subway Surfers.
In June 2007, Apple released the iPhone, giving the world the first handheld device to combine a multimedia player, telephone, and internet browser onto a touchscreen display.
Look at their early version of Safari's logo, man. Terrible. I'm so glad they added the compass on that one.
It was a phone for anyone and everyone, affirming once and for all that you didn't need to be a businessman to own a phone. And shortly after the release of the iPhone emerged the App Store, a platform that brought a completely new dimension
There you go. That's what eliminated Miniclip.
to the world of Web 2.0 and user-generated content.
Guys, was the iPhone the first with the App Store? Or was it Android?
The impact was hard to understate. You have to remember, entire billion-dollar companies were formed through the App Store, spawning the concept of the app economy, which consisted of device manufacturers, app developers, and distribution platforms. This movement
Still that way.
made massive waves in the gaming industry, and with the iPhone's intuitive touchscreen controls, gaming was demonstrating how fun it could be for all ages. And not so coincidentally, as cell phone ownership increased, Flash game websites began to see a hard dip in their user base. Miniclip's
Good riddance.
numbers were falling rapidly,
Now came the rise of touchscreen Flash games.
and it was apparent that the industry and the audience was making a transition. Miniclip noticed this, with co-founder and former CEO Robert Small stating the following. We built the company on a platform that was clearly no longer going to sustain.
Hey, times change.
And so the realization that Miniclip as a games portal on the web was not going to exist in the future, we needed to move and pivot the company to a new platform. And that's exactly what they did. Miniclip moved many of their Flash game titles to mobile and began creating titles for the App Store as well. Suddenly, the company was not only publishing games, but developing them, a transformation that many online game publishers could not make, resulting in their eventual downfall. Thankfully, Miniclip had adapted and would go on
Oh gosh. Ed Ball.
to find incredible success in the mobile games industry. They would occasionally test the waters in other areas as well, like their brief foray into console gaming, which Miniclip's CEO bluntly expressed
That game looked fun. That's a mobile game, right?
stuck to their strengths and grew rapidly because of it. To date, Miniclip is still acquiring new companies and diversifying their game themes to capture entirely new audiences in Asia and beyond.
There you have it. They're still doing business moves, guys.
Some of their most mentionable titles have been Agar.io, Gravity Guy, and 8-Ball Pool,
No way.
which is by far their highest grossing title with over 8 million monthly players to date.
Dang.
In the 20 years since the company's inception,
Jeez, bro. Maybe they do have that office still.
Miniclip has found a way to quietly become one of the biggest companies in the mobile gaming industry. With the fall of the Flash game era, Miniclip was facing complete failure. But since the company began, Miniclip has managed to stay ahead of the curve while sticking to what they do best.
27 million net worth. They did it right. I thought they did it bad.
They never tried to make the next AAA title or hop on the bandwagon of farming and restaurant sims. They were always focused on simple,
They could have had success doing that.
infectiously fun games that anyone could pick up and enjoy. And while many seem to think Miniclip's heyday was in the mid-2000s, it's actually a fact that today, Miniclip has never been bigger. They're one of the few household names to have
Somehow, guys.
come out the other side of the Flash game era. Armor games didn't scale, addicting games didn't scale, even after being purchased by Nickelodeon, and Newgrounds didn't scale, as iconic as they were. History most definitely sees Miniclip as one of the more corporate companies to have participated in the Flash games era, but their belief in casual gaming is unrivaled even to this day. Miniclip saw the potential in 2001, and now they see its influence 20 years later. You see, Flash games aren't dead. They just move to your pocket.
There you have it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, check out the original creator in the description. Slow start. See you guys next one. I remember old Flash games. Oh yeah, they're there, and they're like better now. Thankfully, we got better phones, so we can actually run like something better than the bad quality Flash games that were running rapid. Press that join button. See you guys next one.